Alright guys, this is College Algebra, Math 1513, Northern Oklahoma College, Chapter 2, Section 3. Find the equation of a line if given the slope and y-intercept. Alright guys, this is going to be a quick lesson. Remember, there's only two things we need to write the equation of a line. We need the slope and we need the y-intercept. If we just have those two little bits of information, we can write an equation. So all we need is a number for m and a number for b. That's all we need. Now in this particular section, they're going to give us those numbers. So all we got to do is plug them in and write the equation. Okay, on this example here, what if I give you the y-intercept 0, 5 and the slope -2? Well, if I wanted to just get a visual, you don't have to graph it. I'm just giving you a visual here. All right, this line would cross the y at the number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the point 0, 5. So there's my y-intercept. And the slope is negative. That means it's going to go downhill. Now remember, anytime you have a slope that's a whole number, you can change anything into a fraction by putting it over 1. So my slope is going downhill at the rate of 2 steps down for every 1 step over. So 2 steps down and 1 step over, 2 steps down and 1 step over. We're talking about that line right there, just to give you guys a visual of what we're dealing with. All right, how do we write the equation? Well, there's nothing easier in the world. mx plus b. I'm going to take out my m and put in my slope. My slope is -2 over 1. In simplest form, it's -2. So I just took out the m and put in a -2. My y comes down, my x comes down. Now I'm going to take out my b, my y-intercept, and put in my y-intercept. Where exactly did it cross the y-axis? It crossed at the number 5. And that was a positive 5, so I make it a plus 5, same thing. So y equals -2x plus 5. It crosses at 5 and goes 2 down and 1 over. Nothing easier. Just take out the m and b and plug in the numbers. All right, let's try another one real quick. What if I tell you the y-intercept is 0, 3/4 and the slope is 2/3? Not a big deal. First thing I would always do is I would write the slope-intercept form just to get a good look at it. And now you're going to replace the m with a number and replace the b with a number. Replace the slope and the y-intercept with numbers. So y equals, what's my slope? My slope is -2/3. So I'm going to take out the m and put in a -2/3. Remember, we like that x to be about halfway up. Now, I could write the plus, but I'm not sure it's positive yet, so I'm going to leave the plus off because it might be negative. So I look up at my y-intercept, and it's 0, 3/4. All I need for the equation is where it crosses the y-axis, and it crosses the y-axis at the point 3/4. Now, I did happen to be positive in this example, so I am going to write plus, but it's not always plus. If it's a negative number, it'll be a minus. So y equals -2/3 x plus 3/4. So that means it crosses the axis at 3/4. That's not a big deal, okay? It's a fraction, but it's on the graph. It's not quite 1 full step up. So it crosses the y-axis at 3/4 and it goes down 2 steps and 3 steps over. That would be a little hard to graph, but it does exist. Okay, one final example. Remember, a good rule of thumb is always start with your slope-intercept form. What am I going to do? I'm going to replace the m with a number and the b with a number. So y equals, now I'm going to take out my m, my slope, and put in the given slope. The slope they give us is 1/2. My x comes down. I like to put it about halfway up. Now again, I'm not going to write the plus here yet because we don't know if b is positive or not yet. Let's look and see. And I look up here and I see my y-intercept is -1. So I don't need the 0. All I need is the y. Where does it cross the y? It crosses the y at -1. So I'm going to write -1. We could write plus a -1, but that's kind of clumsy and awkward. Let's just write -1. And that's correct. This is done. Now the book, sometimes the book does something like this. They say, okay, x times 1 is just x. So they might write it like that. 1/2 times x would be the same thing as x over 2 minus 1. You might see it that way as well. As long as you understand there's a 1 there in front of the x, we just don't always write it.